Manchester United have suffered their biggest defeat in Premier League history. Liverpool have beaten Man United 7-0. Yes, 7-0 today. What a terrible performance. What a terrible performance from Man United. 2 goals from Gakpo, 2 goals from Nunes, and 2 goals from Mo Salah, with a nice little sprinkle of Robert Firmino at the end, secured a massive victory for Liverpool. The biggest recorded victory in a Liverpool-Man United game. The biggest defeat for Man United since 1931. We're going to have to talk about this game because there's a lot for me to talk about. Ten Hag's tactics. Were Ten Hag's tactics right? Was it right to start Weghorst in the number 10 and make Bruno play on the left? We're going to have to talk about it, guys, because today felt like an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer team. A lot of the players are still there from Ole's regime, and you can see it, you can feel it. It felt like a FIFA result. Is this a blip or is this a sign of things to come? Personally, I don't think there's something or anything for us to be worried about, because this did not feel like a 7-0 game. Even though United got beaten 7-0, and we're going to talk about it, it wasn't a 7-0 game, guys. But there's a lot for us to talk about. Let's chop it up as we always do, guys. If you're not... This was a mad one. I don't even know where to start, to be honest. Before we get into it, as usual, smash the like, guys. Turn on notifications. And if it ain't subscribe to the channel, brand new channel, where we just basically do a little debrief. We talk about the game. We say what we see, not how we feel. We grab ourselves a drink, a tea, a coffee, whatever you want to do. And we just chat about the game. And this is going to be a painful one, because a lot of United fans before today were thinking we could go to Enfield and do something. We could, stamp our authority, show them that we're back. Show them what we mean business. Actually go to Enfield and win. Woo! Woo, 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 woo. Today, do you know what? Today was a very weird day of football. A lot of people are going to be emotionally in meltdown. Oh my God, 7-0, we got thrashed. And yes, it was mad. It was mad. But some of the goals were just, it's almost as if the gods were smiling down on them today. Some of the goals, ricochets, and some of the balls fell perfectly it was just their day today. And I don't even know how to explain it, but we're going to try to explain it. Let's start with the lineup. Now, this is where a lot of people now are going to thinking, was Ten Hag right to start the players he started with the formation he started? Because he started Dalot as right back, and now Varane and Martinez, that's the centre-back pairing that I think all of us would have chosen. So I don't think we need to talk about that. Luke Shaw on the left, I don't think we need to talk about that. But of course, Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been playing well recently. And a lot of people say, you know what, he's been playing well. Let him continue, let him keep his spot. And then a lot of people say, do you know what, Dalot, really and truly, before his injury, has been our number one and is technically our number one right back. So he's a big game player. He played in the World Cup. Play him. I think I would have played him, but of course hindsight is a beautiful thing, and people will be saying, you know what, if maybe Dalot didn't play and Aaron Wan-Bissaka played, things would have been different, hindsight. But do you know what? I don't blame him for starting that back four. Now, of course, Fred and Casemiro, I think, choose themselves. I think they choose themselves. I would play those two. It's a big game. Those two are big game players. They performed well before. That's fine. This is where, of course, it gets tricky now. We have been seeing Weghorst playing in number 10 for a while now, and he's played there well. He holds the ball up well, and he brings others into play, right? But against a midfield, a Liverpool midfield that works so hard, that rush you and harry you on the ball, I don't know if today this was a good idea. Because I get the thinking, play Weghorst number 10, play Rashford as the main striker, because Liverpool played a high line. But that just didn't work today, because we didn't even get the ball in midfield. And, of course, Ten Hag played Bruno down the left, and now that is contentious as well. Because, one, when Rashford plays down the left against Trent, Rashford usually has a good game. So in my opinion, my humble opinion, and now you guys let me know if you agree, I would have started Rashford off the left, play Weghorst as a main striker. If you don't trust, because this is the thing now, and we have to be honest with what we see, right, with what we see. In almost all of the big games now, Ten Hag has either shifted Bruno to the right or shifted Bruno to the left and put Weghorst as number 10. He's done that a lot. We're now starting to see that, and we know this, Bruno has a problem with keeping hold of the ball. He does. And if you're playing that role and he only has 60% possession, that's a big problem. We're going to concede a lot of goals. So in the big games, I think he's tried to keep Bruno, or he understands Bruno's qualities. He's still a good passer of the ball. He's very quick to identify certain passes, and he's very fearless. He's very brave with his passing decisions. But he also has negative traits, which means he can't hold the ball up well, which means he can't really play in that position. So Ten Hag has tried to move him away from that position in the big games. But if Ten Hag, if you don't want him to play there, why not just not play him? I think that is the next step. Sometimes Bruno, some games, maybe just not play him. You can't play every game, and he shouldn't play every game anyway. Bruno does get tired as well. Sometimes not start him. Maybe, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I think, and the manager has been getting it right all season. Mostly all season. He's a really good manager. But we have to criticize, right? I'm not saying get Ten Hag out or anything stupid like that. But I believe that the manager got it wrong. Maybe even play Sabitzer with Casemiro and play Fred further forward. Shore up the midfield. Play Rashford on the left, Weghorst, and then Anthony. It's okay. Or take Anthony off and play Bruno on the right. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think of I know we spent a lot of time talking about the formation and the lineup. But personally, I think that mattered a lot more in this game than it ever did in previous games. Because we got thrashed. United got slapped. And now we can talk about the game. Let's talk about the game. I don't even know how I'm going to analyze these goals. Because some of these goals, you can't really analyze them. They were just weird counter-attacks, quick, bam, goals. But anyway, the first 8 minutes of the game, Liverpool started really quickly. Fast start from Liverpool, as you would expect from the home team. Straight away, I noticed that United lacked a bit of composure. We were giving the ball away very easily, just by receiving just a little bit of pressure from Liverpool midfield. We just give the ball away. And not only was Fred doing it, surprisingly, Casemiro was giving the ball away needlessly as well in the first half, especially in the first 10 minutes. And that's when I thought to myself, okay, this game is going to be... These guys, for some reason, are lacking so much composure. Even the quality players, the Varans, the Martinez, the Casemiro, that core, that trio that's usually the rock, the stability of United, that has been the rock and the stability of United going forward for the whole season, they look shaky. Those guys started looking shaky, even the first 10 minutes. And I'm thinking, okay, something smells funny in the air. After Anthony's shot around the 10th minute, which Alisson saved and parried, the game settled down a little bit. United started getting into the game. United started moving the ball around. Robertson crossed to Nunes and Martinez cleared it. We crossed the ball. They cleared it. Both teams started feeding each other out. And I thought, okay, cool. This feels like a derby game. United are getting into the game. 12 minutes is gone, 13 minutes, 15, 20 minutes is gone. Both teams are sort of like going back and forth. Okay, cool. But there were still a lot of spaces. There were a lot of spaces starting to appear when Liverpool attacked. And even though today was a 7-0 game, we have to contextualize things, guys. We have to contextualize things. The first 40 minutes, nobody thought it was going to be a 7-0 game. United did okay in the first 40 minutes. And in fact, if we're going to be honest, United had the better chances in the first half. The first chance came to United, and it was from a cross and Bruno's header. And in my opinion, Bruno should have scored. He should have scored. I think he should have scored. I think a better head of the ball headers that into the bottom corner. But fine. Not long after that opportunity, Luke Shaw, beautiful ball, into Rashford's feet. In my opinion, once again, Rashford could have controlled it, maybe taken the first touch, but he decided to shoot straight away. Very weak shot, went straight into the keeper's arms. 2 chances before Liverpool even created one. And I'm pretty sure, we saw Casemiro score the goal and he was offside. So the way the game started, there was hope, optimism. We started getting into the game. But I think this is how beautiful football is as a sport. Like, momentum is everything. Psychology is everything. Your brain is everything when it comes to football. It's so important. I think the fact that they scored right before halftime, it's almost as if it's like a punch in your gut. United got winded. That's what happened. We got winded. We didn't need to concede a goal. We were playing okay and we were getting into the game. And in fact, we looked the more likely team to go in and score. And that's what I'm trying to say, guys. Let's not panic. It wasn't a 7-0 game. We looked like the more likely team to go on and score until they scored. Now, the goal they scored, you can argue who's to blame. Like, where was Dalot? Where was Dalot, guys? Let me know. Where was Dalot? Because Dalot ran out to Robertson, and why is our right back running out trying to close down their left back? That was mistake number 1. That meant Fred was in no man's land. He wasn't back enough. He wasn't forward enough. He was trying to cover, the passing lane. In fact, you can argue because Fred's position was so good, it forced the guy to flip in, find the perfect pass inside. And then once the ball came to Gakpo inside, you could argue Varane was too square. Perhaps he was too square. Gakpo shifted onto his right too easily against a World Cup and Champions League winner. And the goal was just really good goal. It was a really good goal, to be honest, from Gakpo. But 3 mistakes happened there. 3 mistakes. And we go in 1-0 down. And the problem is now we concede straight after. As soon as the second half started, we concede. But the first half in general, if I was going to sum up the first half, it was United not taking their chances. United actually had more chances than Liverpool in the first half. If we had more composure on the ball, we could have scored. We could have been 2-0 up. But instead, we went into the second half 1-0 down. And essentially, individual errors cost United the first goal. And when you want your team to come out in the second half ready for battle, when you want to see a fight back, when you want to see a bounce, to see a goal, a silly, clumsy goal full of, at once, and this is what I'm saying, like the Nunes header in the 47th minute, it was just silly football from United, sloppy, and this is not normal. And then it wasn't even like 10 minutes afterwards. Once again, Salah, the way that Salah skinned Martinez for this goal, but skinned Martinez for the goal, and Gakpo's dink. It was like everything was just falling perfectly for Liverpool today. They were first to every single ball. The midfield just couldn't get a hold of the game. As soon as Casemiro had the ball, as soon as Fred had the ball, Henderson and the midfielders would close him down, hound him. Casemiro couldn't even breathe. We needed an extra midfielder. Bruno offered us nothing on the left-hand side at all. Anthony was a bit of an outlet, a bit of a threat in the first half, especially in the first 40 minutes down the right. Rashford, I get it. We play Rashford against Liverpool up front. I think Ten Hag did it because he knew Liverpool were going to play with a high line. But I don't think Ten Hag respected Liverpool enough today, personally. I don't think Rashford should start games playing up front. I like when Rashford starts on the left and he makes those inside to outside runs. Even playing against Liverpool, I wouldn't start him up front. And I don't think the tactics today were just wrong. Liverpool, like I said, were just first to every ball. And they didn't even, after the first half, we never had a sniff. And it's only, I think, around the 57th minute is when Ten Hag decided to make a change. So even the changes this time, usually Ten Hag has made changes this season, and the changes have led to Man United playing much better. The changes have made a difference. This time the changes, Weghorst and Fred came off for Scott McTominay and Garnacho, and you're thinking, it doesn't sound too inspiring. It doesn't sound too inspiring, and you could argue that changes should have been made at half time. The fourth goal, I think the fourth goal once again epitomizes all the goals that Liverpool scored today. It was United attacking, being on the front foot, Liverpool counter-attacking. So many deflections. I think Scott McTominay had the ball at one time. He slid and the ball bounced off his feet. Then it fell to another player who hit the ball, and it fell to another player. Then the ball came to Mo Salah perfectly at a really nice height, and he just smashed it into the roof of the net off the crossbar. And it was just, I'm thinking to myself, yes, perfect. The ball just perfectly. It's just, everything was just, the gods were smiling on Liverpool today. That's all I can say. The gods were smiling. Everything just landed on their plate today. And United were just way off. And I think after that goal, the third goal killed us. To be honest, the first goal killed us. The first goal killed us because we were getting into the game. And then the third goal just killed us off. For all other goals after the third goal were just like a blur to me. I don't even know how to analyze that. That was the fourth goal. The fifth goal was Nunez's header, I think. Henderson's cross, I believe. That was the fifth one. Then the Mo Salah scored again. And I was like, oh, it's like flipping being in the 12th round boxing match. And you're just getting despair, just right. You're trying to block and you're just getting punched, and all the punches are going through. You're trying your best to block, but every single punch is going through. That's how it was. That's how I felt. I was like, what's the point? What's the point in blocking? You got Bruno flipping walking. Bruno is going back to, the thing about Bruno, what people need to understand, right? I'm not a Bruno hater, right? But his character is I don't think his character is very helpful in our team. I know people like to say he's got the winning mentality, but Bruno hasn't really won much in his career. Casemiro has a winning mentality. Varane has a winning mentality. We didn't see it today, to be honest. But today, Bruno, all I can say is that United still have a lot of players still traumatized, still have PTSD from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer times, still know what it's like to be smashed. And now they've allowed likes of Casemiro and other players to now know what it's like. It's that infestation needs to be stumped out fully. Because today it was, and I'm not blaming these players, by the way. I want to be very clear with what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's their fault that we lost the game. But I'm just adding another variable to the many reasons why we lost the game. And I'm also pointing out that the Luke Shaws of the world, the Brunos of the world, the Rashford of the world, that, Rashford was really quiet today and he can't hold the ball up. And like I said, there's a lot of things he can't do, hence why he should not be starting games as the focal point of our attack. He shouldn't. But those players still know what it's like to receive these sort of fashions. Not this, because this is big. But we can't allow them to feel comfortable in this. If you know what I mean. Don't feel comfortable in this. But yeah, they topped it off with Firmino's goal, and they celebrated the Liverpool fans like it was carnival, a Liverpool carnival. And yeah, what do I say? We down tools in the second half. And do you know what? I wouldn't even say we fully down tools. I just think some players in key positions didn't turn up. I think Ten Hag got the formation, got the tactics, got the players wrong. I wouldn't have. He went fully attacking, you know, with Liverpool, and he forgot about the midfield. And we got outrun and overrun in midfield. This is. I hope he learns. I hope we learn from this. I don't think this is something. I don't think this is a pattern. I think this is just a one-off game because, like I said, even though we lost 7-0, it wasn't a 7-0 game. This game was like a 3-0 game or 3-1. We should have scored. We should have scored ourselves. Or maybe 4-2. You know, it wasn't a 7-0 game, but it's embarrassing nonetheless. Very embarrassing. I hope the players remember this loss, bottle it up, use it for fuel and all these things for the next games. United, for me, in my opinion, we're never in a title race. We're not good enough. What I want United fans to understand is to just understand what they're seeing. They're seeing a team that's not actually playing that well win a lot of games. So let's admit what we're seeing. The way that Arsenal play football, the way they move it, always having like 60% possession. Man City move it. We don't move it nearly half as good as them, usually. And this is not, so we're just winning games because we have good players. We have the Casemiros, we have the Varans, we have a good foundation on which to build on. And once that foundation is found out or wobbles a little bit, look what happens today. We're not playing great. And do you know what I'm also noticing? And one thing you guys can comment on as well. We're not playing Ten Hag ball. That's clear. We don't have Ten Hag players, so we're not playing Ten Hag ball, right? And the football that we're playing has moved from a possession style sort of football, which Ten Hag tried to implement, that we were kind of playing with Eriksen, to now, especially against some of the big teams, a more or solely transition-based style of play, which looks more like the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type football that we're used to playing. And I'm thinking to myself, that is not Ten Hag ball either. Because today you felt like we played two DMs, two holding rather than one, which is more to, we usually play, you can argue we do play with two, but we kind of play one kind of ahead of the other slightly. Kind of like, doop, doop, doop. We do. Rather than two complete sitting, like the way Paul Pogba and Scott Matic used to just both sit. We don't really do that. It's usually Casemiro. But today, it feels like we're going backwards. We're going towards towards a transition team again. A team that's not really good on possession. And a team that's really, really good in transition. And today, even in transition today, we were so sloppy. So sloppy. But, it is what it is. What else can I say? I don't think it's a pattern. I don't think United were going to win the league anyway. So hopefully this is just an adjustment, a reality adjustment for United fans. We can still win the FA Cup, and of course we were still in the Europa League. Liverpool, they smashed us today. Sometimes you got to hold the L, and today, come on, the biggest recorded victory in a Man United Liverpool game, heaviest defeat since 1931. We just got to hold it. We got to hold the L and take the punches. You can try to block them if you want, but you can take them, take the swings, and then come back tomorrow. But yeah, this game was not 7-0, but of course it is a 7-0 game. Onwards and upwards though. Hope the players just not dwell on it too much and just come back. But yeah, man, what do you guys think? Let me know. Who was the man in the match? Definitely not a United player. Let's give it to Salah. I was going to give it to Gakpo, but these guys had a party. It was party time. It was embarrassing. So embarrassing. Bruno was embarrassing today. He was embarrassing today. He literally one time just stopped running. He gave up. No, it's Casemiro. He did not have a good game today. Sabitzer should have played. Hindsight is a beautiful thing. Sabitzer should have started. Hey, Sancho on the bench. It is what it is, guys. But yeah, upwards and upwards. Smash the like, guys. Turn on notifications, and if you haven't yet, subscribe. So subscribe below. I'm lost for words, out of words at the moment. Total humiliation. What can I say? Anyway, share the video, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Let me know what you guys think. Who was your man in the match? Talk to me. Give me some football knowledge. Exchange football knowledge. Let me know what you guys thought of the game as usual. Peace out. If you're not